Pain, though unwelcome, is a profound catalyst for transformation. For a woman fighting a silent battle, pain becomes the raw material from which her strength, wisdom, and resilience are forged. Every tear, every moment of heartbreak, and every instance of self-doubt carries within it an opportunity for growth and renewal. When faced with pain, a woman has no choice but to confront it head-on. There is no escaping the emotions that come with feeling unsupported or misunderstood. In these moments, she is forced to sit with her discomfort, to acknowledge her wounds, and to process the emotions she might have previously buried. This process, though excruciating, is where transformation begins. She learns to accept her pain, not as a weakness, but as a part of her story. Acceptance doesn't mean giving in to despair. It means embracing her reality and using it as a foundation to build something greater. Pain teaches her to let go of illusions, of perfection, control, and the need for external validation. It strips away the masks she wears to please others or fit into societal expectations. In the raw vulnerability of her struggle, she discovers her true self. She begins to see her worth not in what she can do for others or in how others perceive her. Each time she faces her fears or pushes through her doubts, she gains confidence in her ability to overcome. Pain becomes a teacher, showing her that she is far more resilient than she ever imagined. She learns to forgive her mistakes, to honor her efforts, and to celebrate her progress no matter how small. This self-compassion becomes a cornerstone of her transformation. In time, she begins to see her pain not as a curse, but as a gift. It has shaped her, refined her, and prepared her for the challenges ahead. It has given her the tools to navigate life with grace and resilience. Her transformation through pain is not just about survival, it is about thriving, about becoming a woman who stands tall, not in spite of her struggles, but because of them. She emerges from her journey with a profound sense of purpose, ready to face the world with a strength that is unshakable and a heart that is deeply compassionate. The silent victory is often celebrated with fanfare, loud applause, and the recognition of others. But for a woman fighting her silent battles, victory doesn't come with the spotlight or cheering crowds. It comes in quiet, unspoken moments of triumph. Moments that only she knows. Moments that mark the turning points of her journey. These silent victories are profound because they represent her strength, resilience, and determination to keep going, even when no one is watching. A silent victory is waking up each day when the weight of the world feels unbearable. It's the decision to keep moving forward, even when the road is unclear and filled with obstacles. It's the quiet determination to face her fears, to rise after every fall, and to rebuild herself when life tears her apart. These victories may go unnoticed by the outside world, but they are monumental to her. They are proof that she is stronger than the challenges that try to hold her back. In her silence, she learns to celebrate her progress in ways that don't rely on external validation. She finds strength in the small wins, completing a task that seemed impossible. They are not for show or approval. They are deeply personal, rooted in her own understanding of what it means to persevere. She doesn't need a trophy or a round of applause because her reward is the knowledge that she is transforming, becoming stronger and more resilient with every challenge she faces. Silent victories also teach her humility and grace. She learns to move through life without the need for recognition, finding fulfillment in her own growth. This quiet strength radiates outward, inspiring others without the need for words. People may not know the details of her battles, but they see the light in her eyes, the confidence in her stride, and the calm in her presence. Her silent victories speak volumes without ever being spoken. Over time, these victories accumulate, and she begins to realize just how far she's come. The woman who once doubted her ability to survive is now thriving, standing tall in her newfound strength. She understands that while her journey may have been solitary, it was also transformative. Her silent battles were not a sign of weakness, but a testament to her resilience. In a world that often celebrates the loud and the visible, her silent victory is a reminder that true strength doesn't always make a noise. It is found in the quiet moments of perseverance, in the determination to keep going, and in the courage to transform pain into power. Her victory, though silent, is nothing short of extraordinary. The courage to keep moving. Courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet determination to take one more step forward when everything inside of you wants to give up. For a woman battling silently, without support, courage becomes her lifeline. It's not about grand gestures or bold declarations. It's about the small, consistent choices she makes to keep going, even when the odds feel insurmountable. This courage is what transforms her struggles into triumphs, her pain into power, and her isolation into self-discovery. Each step she takes is an act of defiance against the challenges that seek to hold her back. Courage is waking up in the morning even when the weight of her circumstances feels unbearable. It's choosing to believe in herself even when the voices of doubt are loud and unrelenting. Standing firm in her decisions, knowing that her strength doesn't depend on the approval or understanding of others. Her courage is deeply personal, often unnoticed by the world, but it is the force that propels her forward. This kind of courage isn't something she is born with, it's something she cultivates through experience. Every time she faces a setback and refuses to let it define her, her courage grows. Every time she pushes through fear, she builds a reserve of inner strength that she can draw upon in future challenges. The process is incremental, but each small victory contributes to a foundation of resilience that becomes unshakable over time. Courage also requires vulnerability, the willingness to confront her fears, her pain, and her limitations. It's not about pretending to have everything figured out or suppressing her emotions. Instead, it's about allowing herself to feel, to heal, and to grow. She learns to embrace her imperfections and see them not as flaws, but as aspects of her humanity. This vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a testament to her strength. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you on a journey today, a journey into the untold story of strength, resilience, and transformation. It's a story of a woman who fights a silent battle every day, a battle unseen by the world but deeply felt in her soul. She faces moments when she feels invisible, unheard, and unsupported. Yet, despite the weight of the world pressing down on her shoulders, she rises. You see, adversity doesn't define her, it refines her. Because here's the truth, strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from enduring the storm and choosing to thrive despite it. This silent battle may feel isolating, but it's also her proving ground. It's the fire that forges a woman who cannot be broken. Adversity as refinement. Adversity is a universal experience. But for a woman facing her silent battles with no support, it takes on a transformative role that shapes her into a force of strength and resilience. In the absence of external validation or a comforting hand to guide her, she is forced to look inward, discovering reserves of power she didn't know existed. Adversity, though painful, becomes the forge in which her character is tested and refined. When a woman encounters hardships, be it rejection, failure, loss, or loneliness, she has two choices: to let the weight of these struggles crush her spirit, or to rise above them, using the very challenges that sought to break her as stepping stones to a stronger self. In this process, she learns that pain, while difficult, is not her enemy. It becomes her teacher, guiding her to confront her fears, face her insecurities, and dismantle the self-doubt that whispers she isn't enough. Through adversity, she learns the art of resilience. Every setback becomes a lesson, every disappointment a redirection. These moments teach her patience and perseverance, showing her that growth is not instantaneous but earned through the trials she endures. The absence of support forces her to rely on her instincts, to trust herself, and to find clarity amidst the noise of self-doubt. This independence becomes her strength. Adversity also exposes the beauty of vulnerability. It is in her darkest moments that a woman learns to be honest with herself. Her worth is inherent, rooted in her courage to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. This process of refinement changes the way she sees herself in the world. What once seemed insurmountable now feels like an opportunity for growth. She stops looking for saviors outside of herself and starts becoming her own. She develops a quiet confidence, one that doesn't boast, but radiates. This confidence isn't about having all the answers, it's about trusting her ability to face whatever comes her way. Adversity doesn't just build resilience, it cultivates empathy. As she walks through her challenges, she begins to understand the struggles of others more deeply. She knows what it feels like to be unsupported, unseen, and unheard, and this awareness sparks the desire to uplift others. Her strength becomes a beacon, a reminder to others that they too can rise from their struggles stronger and more empowered. In the end, adversity is not just a test of a woman's strength, it is the catalyst for her transformation. It refines her into someone who not only survives but thrives, emerging with a spirit that is unbreakable and a heart that is deeply compassionate. Inner power when external support is absent, a woman's journey takes a unique turn inward. Without the comfort of someone to lean on, she is left to face the mirror, confronting herself in ways she never imagined. This solitude, though daunting, becomes the stage where her inner power is awakened and cultivated. She learns that true strength isn't about never falling, It's about rising again, and sometimes the only hand that reaches out to pull her up is her own. In the silence of her struggles, she starts to hear her inner voice more clearly. This voice may begin as a whisper, tentative and unsure, but as she begins to trust herself, it grows louder and more confident. The lack of external validation or guidance forces her to rely on her instincts, sharpening her intuition. She discovers that the answers she's been seeking externally often lie within her. This realization marks a turning point. It's the moment she begins to trust herself wholeheartedly. This process of finding inner power is not without its challenges. Doubts creep in, questions linger, and fears try to take hold. But these moments of uncertainty are part of her growth. Each time she overcomes hesitation or pushes through fear, her inner strength is fortified. She starts to recognize that she has the ability to face adversity head-on, not because someone else says so, but because she has proven it to herself. What makes inner power remarkable is its self-sustaining nature. It isn't dependent on external circumstances or other people's opinions. It is rooted in a deep sense of self-belief. This kind of power doesn't waver with the changing tides of life. It remains steady like an anchor. It becomes her foundation, the source she taps into when the world feels overwhelming. As she cultivates this power, her perspective begins to shift. She stops seeing herself as a victim of circumstances and starts seeing herself as the architect of her life. She understands that while she cannot control everything that happens to her, she can control how she responds. This shift from external dependence to internal empowerment is liberating. It gives her a sense of agency, a belief that she is not defined by what happens to her, but by how she chooses to rise above it. Inner power also brings with it a quiet, unshakable confidence. It doesn't scream or demand attention. Instead, it radiates in her actions, her decisions, and the way she carries herself. She no longer seeks approval or validation because she knows her worth. This newfound self-assurance is magnetic, inspiring others who witness her transformation. Ultimately, her inner power becomes her greatest ally. It's the force that keeps her moving forward, the strength that carries her through the toughest times, and the light that guides her when the path ahead seems uncertain. It's a reminder that even in the absence of external support, she possesses everything she needs to not only survive, but thrive.